Time for a very special segment here on Sensible Fitness. I'm joined by Justin McElfresh. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks.
Justin is a professional fighter in the mixed martial arts, and that is a huge sport that's growing tremendously. I mean, is it one of the fastest growing sports right now, I imagine?
I think it is right now, especially with everything it combines. I think it's taken over the boxing world and every other type of sport that we have right now.
And for those of you that aren't familiar with mixed martial arts, you might have seen the fighting that's done in an octagon cage. That's what we're talking about here. Rough and tough sport, not for sissies, right?
Yeah, it's pretty different because it takes a lot of endurance, a lot of strength, technique, and then also it just takes heart. You just got to be tough to get out there and get hit and just not give up, because there's not a break once you get in there. It's 3 5-minute rounds of you're going to have to prove yourself, just to yourself and to everybody else. You got to prove yourself. It takes a lot of heart. And
a lot of guys can relate to it. They think it's cool, but a lot of women are probably saying, why? Why? It's bloody. I mean, these guys are literally, your gloves they're very small.
They're 4 ounce, which compared to a typical, if you see a regular glove and say your regular cardio class, that's 16 ounces or 18 ounces. That's like a big pillow. A 4 ounce glove is literally like a piece of leather across your knuckles. All it does is just hold your hand together, so when you punch someone, you don't break your hand.
Right.
So.
But you can also elbow people to the face. You can knee people to the face.
Yeah, it pretty much includes every type of striking you can think of. There are a few rules, like you can't take someone's eyes out or bite them or hit to the groin or anything like that, but you can punch, kick, knee, elbow. You can throw someone. You can be on the ground and lock out their joints or choke them out. So That's a lot. So.
And you've been in this for a while now. You're a professional with a record of 6-3. Is that correct?
Yes. I've been pro for a little over 3 years. So I've been in martial arts my whole life, and it's more of, I don't do this because I like the fight, which people probably find that hard to believe. Unlike other sports, most mixed martial artists have college degrees or they've been to college, and unlike regular sports where you think I'm just a big bully and I want to get in there and hurt someone, I'm actually in it because I love competition.
Okay. So. You can compete in checkers or something like that.
I guess I like physically competing.
All right, but anyway, Justin's here at Sensible Fitness. We're teaching him a few exercises that will help him in his fighting. And one thing that you might find yourself doing when you're a fighter is that you're on your back and the guy's on top of you.
Yeah.
And how do you get him off?
There's a lot of different ways. Probably the most important thing, especially when he's trying to smash your head through the mat, is you got to bridge. You got to be able to bridge and twist to keep his balance off. If you can bridge and twist and keep his balance off, then if he has no balance, he can't hit you that hard.
Okay, so we're going to show him an exercise that's going to help build power in that. Justin's done a lot of weight training before, but not a lot of functional sport-specific type stuff. So we're going to show him a little bit of that. Justin, go ahead and assume the position here. We're on a cable crossover machine. We've got the cable down here a little bit low so that he can bridge up and then twist. So what we're doing is mimicking him getting off of his back with a fighter on top of him. And what he needs for this particular motion is a lot of core muscles, a lot of obliques as he twists. Now because he's bridging up, we've got the gluteus maximus engaging, and he's driving with his right hip. As you twist to the left, it's the right hip that's the driving force here. So we would typically perform this exercise on each side, but for television filming purposes, we're just going to do one side here. But a tremendous amount of strength and power needs to be used here to get this motion performed. Strength is the ability to lift heavy weight. Power is the ability to lift heavy weight quickly. There's a time component. And in his sport, you have to have a tremendous amount of explosive power. You have to have strength, and you have to be able to do it quickly. So this is a great way to help build that, along with some Olympic lifts that we'll be working with him on. So you just go by the name of Justin McElfresh, or are you the killer Justin, or what?
I get teased a lot by people. I don't have a nickname. People joke around and say, like, you just got McElfresh or whatever, but I have a lot of family history. I'm really proud of my name. I'm really proud of what my parents have done to help me get where I'm at. probably as you know, since mixed martial arts is starting out, it's not like boxing to where we get paid millions per fight. If we make millions in a lifetime doing mixed martial arts right now, then you're really, really good. You're in the top 5 percentile. So my parents have helped me out a lot, both just being there for me, just showing support, because I'm 6-3, so not every single fight's a win. There's no one in my sport who's perfect record, no matter how good you are. So you find out who your friends are when you lose. And my parents have always been there for me. They go to all my fights. And then also, if I need help, just someone to talk to, just because I've made mistakes, and just with fighting or with training, my parents have always backed me up. So I'm proud to say, I'm Justin McElfresh, you know, I'm proud of what I do, where I'm from. I don't need a nickname to kind of describe who I am. Saying my full name, that's who I am.
Let's do a second set. Excellent. Justin can do this particular exercise with his butt on the ground also, but visiting with him about his sport, he felt that it might be more specific to have his butt lifted. So we're going to give him the option here. He knows his sport much better than I do. So I'll let him tweak the exercise to put him in different positions, because he's going to find himself in all sorts of positions when he's in a fight. So again, this is a great way to help build the strength for the bridge and the throw or the twist to get the guy off the top of you. Is that the right weight for you there, Justin?
It feels pretty good. I can be explosive with it, so that's nice.
When you're training for power or explosiveness, if your weight is too heavy, it slows the motion down, and that's the last thing you want to do when you're training for power. So it's better to go a little bit on the light side and keep the speed than it is to load the weight real heavy and slow the motion down. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay, so you've done a lot of training over the years, but I understand now you're heading to Chicago.
Yeah, I think the main thing about Chicago is obviously it's a huge city, so there's a lot of places to train. But luckily for me, I'm training with Carlson Gracie Jr. And for people who don't know or never heard of mixed martial arts or the Gracies in particular, they're kind of the ones who have started the UFC here in the United States. And just their knowledge is just amazing. Anything from being able to throw someone when you're clinched, or once you're on the ground, being able to finish the person by locking out their joints or choking them out. They know how to do that the easiest way.
I love watching this stuff. It's great. I mean, it's a huge sport. It's growing so fast. And I appreciate you being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
These exercises will help you out, bud.
I'm sure they will.
Excellent.